Well, it was going with my mate Rob Woods. We used to go watch the team play, and we used to go on the bus with them when they was in the Burton Hunt League. We used to go to the away matches and things like that. And I started maybe playing when I was about 14, the odd game if there was short. You used to feel at fine leg one end and then fine leg at the other end when the over had finished. This was of course in the Burton Hunt League in the early days. Well, when I was about 14 it would be, what, 61, somewhere around there. And then I maybe started playing when I was about 16 full time, and it took off from there. As it went on, they used to have a practice night on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. They used to go down to the ground, especially on a Thursday night. We used to roll the wicket, and then whoever the groundsman was at the time, he used to get it ready for the weekend. Yeah, sometimes we had the nets out, sometimes we didn't. It depended on how many on us turned up for the practice session. Like, if there weren't many, we didn't bother with the nets.
Did you help out with the ground at that age?
Not at that age, no. Only we used to go down and maybe pull the roller. That was about all. Well, the outfield is what they call rig and furrow. That's how it used to drain off in them days. And plus the fact, after Dr. Monteith left, it was changed hands a couple of times, I think, well, maybe once before Mr. Rowe got it. And when Mr. Rowe got it, we couldn't do anything with the ground. He said you could play there, which I don't think he could stop us at the time. And as long as everything stopped as it was, we just cut the outfield and did the wicket, and that was it. And the outside of the outfield, he just turned it into hay when it was time for hay making. Yeah, in the early days there was cows on there and horses. Yeah, and like when I first started playing, there was 4 posts at each corner of the square, and it was barbed wired off so the animals couldn't get on the wicket. The pavilion had 2 bars of rails round it to stop the animals getting in the pavilion or rubbing up the posts at the front of the pavilion. Yeah, in them days. If you hit one of them posts with the ball when you was batting, you got 2 runs. But later on, when they went in the Lincoln League, the 4 posts was took up and electric fencing was put round the square to keep the horses and cows off. Then Mr. Rowan took the railings down from round the pavilion and told us there'd be no more horses in there, and that's where it went from then. Well, I think as long as there's a cricket club, I don't think they can be turned off there. But I think if Aisthorpe packed up for 1 year, that would be the end of Aisthorpe Cricket Club. It's in the deeds of the house deeds, that when anybody takes over the house new, if they bought it, that it's in the deeds that it stops as a cricket club, as far as I know. About 40 year. Yeah, be about 40 year. Player of the year a couple of times, I think, and the wicket-keeping trophy.
Which year is that?
1991. And I've got major alt trophies. I've got a couple of league trophies from when I played. In the early days, there was nearly all local. Yeah, Cameringham, Ingham, Brattleby, Scampton. There was mostly local in them days. Got the odd one what maybe come from far away, but there was nearly all local when I was a lad. But as you get older, the team gets older and they had to bring lads in wherever they can get them from. Yeah, well, I mean, in the early days, I know the grounds, outfield's cut down now with the gang mowers and that, but in them days, you might have nearly 6, 7 inches of grass growing on the outfield, and you had to hit the ball over the boundary to get any runs in the early days. And the outfield wasn't really, it was maybe cut twice a year with a reaper. But now, I mean, when they went in the Lincoln League, as I say, the posts had to be took up and the ground cut properly like an outfield is now.
So getting, let's say, if a batsman were to get a century, that would be a really unusual thing.
Yeah, it would in them days, yeah. Yeah, I think one of them was a lad called Jeff Platt. We was playing at Bishop Norton one day. I don't know how many we was chasing or what the score was. It's a long while ago now. And he hit Harry Cook for 6 sixes on the trot, and eventually going on to make 100.
And again, that would have been pretty unusual, even in '71.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't many hundreds scored in them days. Not, but as it is now, there's more hundreds scored and.
What they play with now.
Oh yeah, a lot thinner about than what they play with now.
Would they have been in those days?
Oh, maybe inch and a half. Something like that anyway. Yeah, a lot thinner than they are today. Well, I think there was like any other team. If they'd got a reasonable side out that year, they'd do pretty well. If they were struggling for players, they struggle through the season like. I mean, a lot of times you could only just pick 11 some days. There weren't a lot of spare people kicking about in the early days until, as I say, they started to run two teams in the 70s when I come back from breaking my leg like, and we started off again then with two teams, which we had quite a lot of players signed on then, and then it gradually dwindled down again in what, maybe 10 years time we went back down to one team again. Things like that. I mean, Skellingthorpe started up again, and a lot of the lads what played at Aisthorpe went back to playing for Skellingthorpe. You maybe lost 3 or 4 players, you know, what played for Aisthorpe. So then you struggle to run two teams.
But you were captain of the second team, weren't you?
Yeah,
How long was that?
I captained the second team for about 3 years. Yeah.
Did you have times when you were struggling to get a team out?
Yeah, we did at times, yeah. Sometimes we'd only play with 9 and 10 men. Or known as go away with 9 and 10 men. But that was life, we enjoyed it. Well, most of us did anyway. No, I enjoy playing at Aisthorpe. I was born and bred at Aisthorpe, and I used to go there when I was an old boy, and I just carried on playing, and even when I got married and moved away, I come back and played at Aisthorpe. Well, when I was captain, I used to do the cricket tees, obviously, at night, you know, on a Saturday or Sunday night whenever we was playing, because nobody used to come and do the tees in them days. And yeah, at least at the end of the season, one of the end of the season dues, the lads all presented me with a set of bread knives, because I'd done the sandwiches all season. That was a bit of a laugh.
Were these bread knives, what, silver?
No, just ordinary bread knives.
Ordinary bread knives?
Yeah.
And you did the ground for many years as well?
Yeah, I did the ground for about maybe 5, 6 years. Yeah, maybe a bit longer. A lot of the times I did it on my own, or Andy Dowling or Russell Richardson, when we worked together, me and Russell, he used to come and help me on a Friday afternoon. We'd go down there and prepare the wicket and the outfield ready for Sunday, and then just give it a quick trim on the Sunday before we started with the mower, and that was it. Everything ready. Hopefully it was all right, but that was life in them days. You couldn't get a lot of people to help you do the ground.
Yeah, you might find that's still the case now. So why did you leave in the end after 40
Well,
years?
I think I just got fed up of going out there on a Friday afternoon, and old age crept up on me, and I just got so I hadn't got the time. End of story.
So you wouldn't say you were past it then?
No. Well, I don't really know a lot. I don't think I've even, well, I haven't. I packed up in 90, when was it now? I packed up when I was 57 anyway, which is what, 12 years ago. And I haven't been back to the ground since. I've run into some of the players what I played with, and if I see them, I speak to them. Other than that, I'm not a very good watcher. I'm not very good at watching cricket, not village cricket anyway. I look for their score every week in the Echo to see what position they're in the league and if they're doing all right. At the moment, they seem to be doing all right. Tell me they've got plenty of players, and the second in the league. I think they're in the, is it the Major Oak Cup final again this coming weekend? Hopefully, if the weather's fine, they're only up the road from me, so I might just go and see what they're doing. No, I don't think so. I mean, I enjoyed it all. I mean, I'm like anybody else. We had our ups and we had our downs, and I just enjoyed it. Keeping wicket, I used to enjoy playing there, and no, I think overall everything was all right. Yeah, yeah, I think that's about it.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.